Financial relief could be coming to Kentucky educators. How one lawmaker is working to put some more money in their pockets. And state senators are advancing a bill that could restrict drag shows in the Commonwealth.
Plus, rain chances return as we kick off March. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
As the legislative session pushes forward, a hot topic this time has been increasing teacher pay. And State Representative Chris Fugit recently sponsored House Bill 694 that would give all Kentucky teachers and administrators a one-time payment. WYMT's Olivia Calfee explains.
House Bill 694 is something that Representative Chris Fugit says would be a small step in the right direction for educators in the Commonwealth. The bill would give administrators and teachers in the state a one-time $2,000 payment in each of the next 2 fiscal years, and all classified employees would receive a $1,000 payment in those 2 fiscal years as well. I had a phone call with Fugit about the bill, and here he explains why he made the choice to sponsor it.
It would be relief. It would be kind of a one-time check this year and next year that would help those that are working to have extra money in their pocket until hopefully we can redo some of the SEEK formula that would allow us to put the monies in SEEK to give the raises that our teachers and employees deserve.
Fugit also says that he knows that House Bill 694 is a short-term solution, but he hopes it's something that will give teachers and administrators and other employees at the school a little bit of relief in the interim. Reporting in Perry County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
Olivia, thank you. House Bill 694 does not include superintendents in the one-time payments for the next 2 years. We'll have more on the bill coming up at 5:30. Another bill to keep adult businesses and performances away from children has cleared a Senate panel. It's Senate Bill 147. Supporters say a state law is needed in the wake of some performances, including those of drag queens that have been in the presence of small children. Opponents say it's an attack on the LGBTQ community and the language in the bill is too vague and confusing. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more from both sides of the debate.
There are local ordinances that deal with this kind of thing, but there's not a state law, and supporters say that is needed. They say there have been some cases in other cities where there were sexually explicit performances that took place where kids were present, and they say they want to keep this from taking place on a statewide level.
Statewide regulations of adult-oriented businesses are not uncommon in the United States.
Senator Tishner says Senate Bill 147 is modeled after one in Tennessee. It would prevent adult entertainment performances or visual representations displaying nudity or sexual conduct from being visible to minors. There's also language detailing drag queen performances where there is an exaggerated gender expression inconsistent with the biological sex of the performer.
It's not necessarily always about what someone is wearing. A lot of times it's the behavior of what they're doing.
Opponents say they believe the bill unfairly targets drag queens and their performances, and it's not just about behavior, it's about the people.
Why are we feeling the need to include drag separate from adult cabaret, other than the perception that the community gets, which is that you're trying to specifically control one art form?
The bill did pass with a final tally of 9-2. Those who voted against it were Democrats Karen Berg and Denise Harper Angel. Opponents say simply that they believe that there's too many gray areas in this bill, and it would be very, very difficult for some to enforce. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Businesses that are already established would have 5 years to comply with the bill if it becomes law. The world wanted more of Kentucky last year. The state set a new record for exports. The governor's office says the Commonwealth shipped more than $40 billion in Kentucky-made products around the world. That was a 16.6% increase over the previous year. Aerospace products and parts topped Kentucky's exports. Pharmaceuticals and medicine, along with vehicles, showed growth as well. The top 3 export destinations were Canada, the UK, and Mexico.
Well, the weather not too bad on this Thursday. We are cooler, but we are sunny, also dry. Let's take a live look from the Cumberland Valley from downtown Somerset. That current temperature is sitting at 46 degrees. We should be in the lower 50s. So again, we are a little bit cooler on this Thursday, all thanks to some drier and cooler air, sitting at 44 in Irvine, also London, 45 in Jackson and Hazard, and 43 for Floyd County, also in Pike County at this hour. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, we are dry, all thanks to some drier air. But notice as we zoom out, we are tracking that next rainmaker over portions of Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, and that moisture will continue pushing into our direction as we close out the work week on Friday. So we are tracking some more rain chances tomorrow, so be sure to have the umbrella close. More rain chances also into Friday evening, the first half of your weekend, but we are trending drier, also more mild on Sunday and Monday before some more rain chances by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. More details on those rain chances, plus a warm weekend coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Both President Biden and former President Donald Trump are visiting the U.S.-Mexico border today. President Biden is visiting Brownsville while Trump is going to Eagle Pass. President Biden's campaign has called Trump's trip a massive political stunt. They are trying to tie Republicans to the growing border crisis in the wake of stalled legislation in Congress. But in a new Gallup poll, just 28% of Americans approve of President Biden's handling of immigration. We'll have much more on the border visits ahead at 5:30. More than 100 people waiting for humanitarian aid are dead following a war-related incident in Gaza City Tuesday. Palestinian officials say Israeli soldiers opened fire on the civilians as they gathered around trucks delivering the aid. The incident remains under investigation. President Biden says the killings will complicate negotiations for a ceasefire. He had previously said a deal might be possible by next week.
With the people in the region, I'm still probably not by Monday, but I'm hopeful.
The president says the killings underscore the urgent need for a ceasefire in the region. The president also said Hamas could secure an immediate 6-week ceasefire if it released its hostages. Tough questions and tense moments as lawmakers questioned Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin today over his secret hospitalization. The secretary was in the hospital for complications from prostate cancer surgery earlier this year. The White House was not informed of Austin's hospitalization until 3 days after he was admitted.
It's not enough for me to pledge to do better. The system must be postured better to make the appropriate notifications when authorities are transferred. And my staff must be ready to carry all of this out. But let me be clear, I never intended to keep my hospitalization from the White House or from anybody else.
This week, a Pentagon review found there was no deliberate attempt to mislead, but did make a series of recommendations to make sure this does not happen again. Coming up on First at 4, consumer habits are changing and it appears prices are improving. What a new report could mean for the economy.
Plus, we are dry this evening, but rain chances are back by tomorrow. Those details after this break.